I am a full-time 24/7 caregiver. I've actually been doing it for 14 years, since the year 2000, when I moved my mother and daddy here from South Dakota. Some of you in this community may know me as Mrs. Breakfast with Burl. Burl Womack is my husband, who had the radio show. There's medication administration, there's the typical things of taking care of my family's needs, as far as, we call them, activities of daily living, the bathing, the feeding, the doing all of those things, besides running a house, which means the cooking, the washing, keeping gas in the car, buying new tires, getting a new roof, etc., etc. You do everything. Sometimes I've been pretty overwhelmed. I say I hit the brick wall, and for anyone who is a caregiver, I think that's a pretty true term. I think we do hit the brick wall. Not sure which way to turn, don't know where to go to get help, don't know who to ask for help. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, if something goes awry, I need to be able to pick up the phone and have immediate help.
As a family member, you really do feel the strain, and you feel the guilt, and you feel the guilt from the strain. You know that you're doing only what your family member would do for you, but it's a lot, 24/7.
The caregiver needs somebody to care for them as well, to know that somebody is in their corner that can say, hey, I can give you a half-hour break if you need to go walk around the block, and you can call, like I said, you can call Hospice Savannah anytime you want, and that's the greatest thing.
You already have that cushion around you that will help when you think you're strong enough, when you find out that you're really not strong enough to deal with the situation all by yourself, and that you already have built around you a group of people that will help you through the process from beginning all the way to the end.
They were there with me. They had the chaplain and everybody, and they just take care of you, even if you're not going to die. It doesn't mean going to hospital that you are going to die, because if that were true, I wouldn't have called them this time. But I did call because I know how good they are, and I needed their help, and I needed them to get me through.
It's such a relief just to know that you have somebody if you need them.
I wised up and decided that it would be very, very helpful to have a few other people on board, and instead of a few other people, I ended up with a team.
It sure did make it easier having that second family of Hospice Savannah, who were always willing to do whatever it takes to ease the burden, and they were always so interested, not in just taking care of my mom, but in also taking care of my family, because we were all in it together, and that's the way they made you feel.
When it's your parents, you really don't know what to do, if you're doing it right, if you're doing it wrong, because it's your parents and you don't want to do anything wrong. So you're trying to do everything right, so you need somebody to help you.
You have a nurse, you have a CNA, we have beauticians at Hospice of Savannah, we have dog therapy, pet therapy rather. I've had musicians come to the house, physical therapy, so many more things, where we have the storyteller will come in and record the family's life. If you ask, if we have it, they'll see a way of getting it to you so that your family member can enjoy themselves and you can enjoy being with your family.
He went into hospice house. He panicked. We didn't know what we were going to do with the cat. And we called Hospice Savannah, the volunteer coordinator, and she told us about the pet peace of mind. And they lodged a cat for a week for us. And this cat got his injections and everything while she was there.
Once a month, patients have the opportunity to take a few days of respite and can go to Hospice House on Eisenhower Drive and can stay there for a few days, and gives opportunity for the caregiver to do a little something else, just to catch a breath at least.
The hairdresser, my mom was you know, very much the Southern belle. In fact, when she knew the hairdresser was going to come over to the house, she needed to get ready even for him. She was always very meticulous about going to the beauty shop, and it bothered her the way she was when she was, you know, bedridden and not able to take care of herself the way she always had. So having somebody come out and attend to those, you know, very basic, important needs was incredible. It, you know, it made us feel like we were doing more, because all we were really doing was, you know, taking full advantage of the services that were offered by Hospice Savannah.
I think it just makes them feel good, that they look better. I think a lot of people, when they hear the word hospice, they think that they're right at the very end of life, instead of calling at the beginning when something's diagnosed, because there's so much that hospice can provide for you. Music therapy, massage, getting your hair done, sitters, anything that you need, they will do. It is the most rewarding thing I have ever done in my life. I just get so much back from giving such a little bit.
You give them something that they can really appreciate and hang on to. These pictures mean a lot. You freeze a moment in time, and after they're gone, their families have that to look at. And we've gotten so many letters and phone calls about these pictures. They mean a lot to people. You know, my first 40 years were as a surgeon, so I'm used to people, and I like giving and doing things for people. This just gives me a chance to do something for people that they really appreciate.
They have a staff of fabulous CNAs, and the CNAs do such, they're the ones that really do the hands-on work, the bathing, the dressing, the shaving, the doing all those kinds of things, and they are well trained, and I can't speak highly enough of them.
You know, your medications come right to your door. You don't have to worry about getting out, how am I going to get there to make sure I have a ride to get to the pharmacy. You know, everything is on time, right when, you know, you call, you need something, you tell them, and it's delivered.
They're here helping me with my mother, and I am so happy my mother's getting the best treatment. Her medication is on time. They ask me my needs. They ask her needs. She have a nurse come out twice a week. You are here most of the times. And then there's a sitter that will be 4 hours a day. What more can I ask for?
The quality that I was most impressed with from all of the volunteers, all of the staff, the doctors, nurses, was the grace that they showed and the dignity. My mother was an extremely dignified, proper person, fun-loving, you know, loved to have a good time, but also, you know, was old school, very dignified. And they were aware of that, and they treated her so graciously.
I learned so much from the clients that I visit, the families, to get to see their dynamics. And it also helped makes me a better person when I have to deal with my family members who may have issues, or just dealing with the public on their concept of what hospice is about. Is to a moment to educate, and it helps me to have more passion for people and to be able to love in spite of.
It strengthened me to know that I have help that don't mind helping me. And Hospice Savannah, they gave me what I prayed for. They gave me a peace of mind.
Wonderful chaplains. Oh my goodness. I just have a testimony of the chaplain and his work that is just, it's just way up there on the charts. I am so pleased to be able to talk to him.
We have a chaplain comes out whenever we want him to, comes out and sings with us if we want him to. He's funny.
Hospice, and particularly Hospice Savannah, wasn't at all about just preparing for the very worst. It was all about making the most of the quality of life that my mom had at the time. And it was just incredible because it wasn't a clinical approach at all.
One of the things that I rest easy about is knowing that I'm not going to go through this alone.
I was actually afraid to call hospice. I thought, oh my goodness, because I had always heard that hospice was the end of the journey, that's where you went the last few days, whatever. And I didn't feel that my family was in that late stage at that time, and so I just didn't know, what to think.
And that was where our big misconception came. We thought calling hospice was like saying, okay, he's ready to die, I need help. Not at all. Hospice isn't about dying, that it's about the quality of life that we can give our loved one up until that point.
As the person tasked with taking care of the loved one, you feel like that should be your job, that should be your responsibility, because that person probably did so much for you over the course of your lifetime, and it is your responsibility. But your truest responsibility is to do the absolute most you can for this person that means so much to you. And to make that happen, you need the help of Hospice Savannah.
You're not going to understand it until you get into it, and it's a lot of peace, it's a lot of joy, and it's a lot of help, because with Hospice Savannah, you can feel God present there at all times, and it take away the fear.